Alright, I didn't think I'd be doing another one of these as soon as I am. The very next day from doing one yesterday. But the Bowe Bergdahl thing has got me, I'm a freaking mushroom cloud. I cannot believe, there again I shouldn't even say that, because there's been so many things that our government has done, people in power, clear since the 70s, since I started paying attention when Carter was in office, and how he decided to cause this huge gas crisis in California just so we could F California over, because I don't even remember what it was, something to do with the farms there. They wouldn't ship all their food to some other country. I think that's what it was. So he was holding up huge barges that had everything for our gas, he kept them out at sea, wouldn't even let them into our waters, just so he could F California over. And I lived there then. And I can't even tell you how bad it was, where people were lined up for miles. And, people got shot trying to cut in line. It was a real freaking, I don't even know what you call it. It was a hella emergency situation where anybody who got gas bought as much as they could and, tried to give it to their neighbors and family. It was freaking real deal. So since then, I've been trying to pay attention to our government, and they're just so freaking corrupt too. Pretty much almost all of them just need to be hung. Actually, seriously, by law. I can go on forever with stuff. I have stuff come to mind all the time. I forgot about that politician doing this politician doing that, this judge doing this other one doing that. I'll run through a short list. McCain, when we first got all of our soldiers back from Vietnam, he fought with everything he could to make sure any that got left behind stayed there. You could find this on YouTube if it's still there. They're phenomenal for erasing anything that's truthful, that whatever, tells the truth. How do I say it? Well, the Satanists want anything that's evil to succeed. And that's what this thing is here. This judge that gave Bowe Bergdahl no time, that flat out screams in everybody's face he's a flat out Satanist. He's a part of this satanic cult that's trying to make Satanism take over the world. And they got themselves pretty padded, them and college professors, where you can't be fired. I'm like, they should be able to be brought up on charges. The American law does not say, there aren't any American laws say that these laws apply to everybody except for judges and freaking college teachers. They can break any law they want. They can club your daughter in the head, gang rape her right in class, but because he's a college professor or a judge, like a judge could say, you know what, this girl on the third row right there, bailiff, grab her. Everybody, you just sit there and shut your effing mouth. And he walks up, busts her in the mouth, throws her on the ground, gang rapes her, and we can't judge him, he's a judge. He's a judge. Bottom line, if they break the law, they got to go. And anyways, that's why I'm doing all these videos, because I just see this uprising of Satanism. Because there's eons of them. I knew there was quite a few, because back in my days, when I was younger, I'll just say, I was around the entertainment world, in LA, that I came across people that were totally flat out Satanists. And then I saw who their friends were, who they knew, famous people, and I'm like, whoa. And there's a video on YouTube, a lady does a radio program. I tell this in every video, try to get everyone to watch it so she could see she was a part of it. I think she was born into it. And her job, which she doesn't say totally, I guess trying not to be prosecuted, but she says there's women who give birth so they can murder the babies, for Lucifer, sacrifice to Lucifer, and also to raise kids that do the same thing. Because, the ladies that do that, sooner or later they get old and die, and so they need, they need to carry that on. So there's kids who are born into that like that, and they're kept as slaves in the satanic cult. They never see the outside world. They're totally hidden wherever they are. They're raised in there, and their job is to pop out kids to be murdered for Lucifer and give birth to kids that they're going to raise up next generation. And I actually saw this, when I came across, well, this goes off in every direction there is. But there was a thing on YouTube of Dr. Phil where he got one of them. One of those girls escaped, and she was still brainwashed. She's like, no, I got to go back. That's my job. And this guy, King, whatever, I think he called himself, you know, he's proved to me that he's the only person that loves me, that nobody loves me but him, and I got to just keep doing this for him. You know, she was like brainwashed like a freaking animal. But this is Satanism. You know, like I said, you know, when I was in LA, I, you know, saw the numbers there, but I mean, now they're coming out of the closet with all the stuff they're doing. They're getting told by Lucifer, do this, because, I mean, like it says, his time is short, and these are the last days. So Lucifer's telling his people, you do what I want now. You don't even care what it sounds like, what it looks like, if it's illegal. This is it. This is where we take our stand, and this is where we, you know, just do it. We don't sit and wait for things to just eventually go our way. We're doing it now. I mean, I saw an article just a little bit ago where in Sweden, the Liberal Party there is hardcore pushing for child molestation to be legal, for sex between brother and sister. I can't even remember the rest of it, but pretty much every perversion there is, you know, they're just going for it. They're just like, you know, total full-on Satanism, you know. Same thing I saw with a video I saw a long time ago of the royal family in England where they were having a gala, and I can't find the clip anymore. Now there's like kind of pieces of the clip where they called up, I can't remember his name, Prince, whatever. He has the really good-looking wife. Can't remember her name either. But anyways, the brunette, you know, they got married a while ago. You know, where they get up to walk up, and in the middle of this huge, like, I don't know what you call it, like, well, whatever, place they were at, probably held 5,000, 8,000 people. Hanging from the ceiling, there was like this, you know, guy dressed up as Satan, and he was tearing apart a lamb, you know, and he's totally violently tearing it apart. And they're just, you know, here's this thing going on up in the middle of the ceiling of this, you know, satanic, or whatever, this guy that's dressed up like Lucifer tearing apart this lamb. Well, of course, the lamb is Christ, you know. And so they're doing this honor themselves for whatever they're, I don't even know what the hell they're honoring themselves for, but whatever, gala thing. And I'm like, whoa, that says right there, the royal family's satanic. You know, to have that, you know, in the middle of the arena. And I mean, I heard a long time ago, I mean, this is a decade or so ago, that they, Britain was allowing Satanism as a legit religion, you know, like Christianity, and that in their military. So anybody who wants to join the military that's satanic, they just let them in, and, you know, they, whatever, bow down to them. So let me get to Bowe Bergdahl. This guy committed treason, hardcore treason. I remember way back when it first happened, the guys in his unit said that all of a sudden the Taliban knew when their shipments were coming for food or armor or whatever, and they'd be sitting there waiting, and they would blast guys. They would, you know, Hannity and Mark Levin and well, whatever, at least 3 of the talk show host guys today, you know, confirmed that 6 guys, at least 6 guys, were murdered looking for him, and then there was a bunch more that got maimed. You know, one guy's paralyzed forever. Another guy's like, he's brain dead. He got shot in the head, but he lived. This is because of Bergdahl. Because these guys were doing the normal routine of going to get food or looking for him. You know, I mean, I don't know how many guys were looking for him or how many got shot, you know, doing what. But he went to them and gave up everything. And this judge says, you know, well, because he had a hard time when the Taliban had him. It's like, who gives a freaking effing ass lick if he had a hard time? That's where he went. You know, he went looking for that. You know? It's like, who cares? It's, I don't know. Okay, here's an example, I guess, for some people who are that stupid. Let's say word got out about Ted Bundy. You know, what he looked like and whatever. And he tries breaking someone's house. Some guy sees him, you know, and captures Ted Bundy, takes him into the basement, you know, Silence of the Lambs style, and spends the next 3-5 years torturing Ted. Saying, okay, you think this is cool? You know what? The courts keep letting you out. They keep arresting you and keep letting you out. You know what? I'm going to take care of you. You know, I'm going to show you what it's like. And he works on Ted Bundy for 5 years or something, and finally somehow Ted gets out, and they gets caught, and they go to court. And the judge says, well, you know what? Even though Ted's done all this crap, we're just going to let him out because he had a hard time when that guy had him in the basement. You know, I am like, if any Black Ops guys decide to just go and do it, track Bergdahl down, this lawyer, or yeah, this judge, And, I mean, actually his lawyer too, man. I heard his lawyer today. His lawyer's like, I can't believe the president would go so low life as to violate our Constitution and say anything, against this innocent human being. I mean, there are so many people in this country that has got to go. According to God, they got to go. And if anybody freaking was on the run because they took them all out, cleaned the deck, believe me, I would back them 100% and cover and whatever I could do. Whatever I could do. I mean, there's just so many, and like, there's just so much crap going on now. This Muslim cop that killed that woman in Minnesota, they haven't even questioned him. The freaking mayor there says there's no law that says we have to question him. It's like he commits murder, and you're saying there's not even a law that says that you have to question him. It's either he wants to come in and answer questions, and that's gone. That's like blown off like nothing. He murdered a freaking woman just out of the blue. She come up to the car to talk to him about somebody in her backyard. He just pulls out his gun and empties the gun on her. Bam, 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 bam. 5, 6 shots. She drops and dies. And what? One thing I guess I could say for sure is there must not be any real Christians in Minnesota. That's flat out. Otherwise, somebody would have done something. Same with this 5-year-old girl that got gang raped up in freaking Idaho, Twin Falls, Idaho. Gang raped by 3 kids, 3 little Muslim kids. And these little Muslim kids, they violated her in every which way. They freaking made her do oral. They anal raped her. They pissed on her. I think they even pissed in her mouth. And one of them videotaped it or whatever, recorded it with his phone. And when the dad found out, the Muslim dad high-fived the kid like, right on, look what you did to an infidel. Yeah, yeah. And then they thought, wait a minute, they're probably going to call the cops. And so this is the grown-ups, the Muslim grown-ups, the peaceful ones. This is who they are. This is flat out who they are. Run to the parents' house or to the family's house of the girl that got raped, gang raped, and tried telling them, no, don't call the cops, don't call the cops. The mothers as well. The mothers of these little boys and all their neighbors. Like all these Muslim grown-ups of these kids and their friends show up at the house where the girl got raped, or the apartment, and are screaming, no cops, no cops, no cops, don't you call the... They actually think that's right. They actually think that's okay that their kids gang raped a little girl, an American girl. And we're still letting them in this country? I mean, holy freaking effing hell. If I was president, it would be bam. Martial law, we're cleaning this country out. If you can't get to the ocean and swim there fast enough, you're getting gunned down. We're feeding you to freaking all the closest pigs we could find. That's how you're going. You know what? Because no Muslims are screaming and crying or saying anything about this Muslim cop killing that woman or these kids up there that gang raped this little girl or what just happened in New York, what happened in San Bernardino. No, they stay quiet. They don't dare come out in public yet, because they feel like, well, someone's going to probably do something. But, so they ain't coming out saying, yeah, Allah Akbar, yeah, F you fucking, low-life piece of crap infidels, yeah, we're going to do the rest of you. I mean, they're saying that around the rest of the world. The Muslims are. But the only time one of them comes out and says anything like, oh, we don't like that, that's totally against us, that's a cover. That's like Ted Bundy, being in court saying, I didn't do it, I can't believe you got me here, I'm innocent. Same thing. They don't admit what the freaking hell they're going to do when they know they're going to pay for it. When they know they're not going to pay for it. When they think they aren't. Like this deal up in Idaho, man. That even blows me away that nothing's even happened there. But this is just more proof that Christians, you better get freaking armed to the freaking teeth with enough ammo to do 25,000 Alamos, and all that, because they're arming up, they're ganging up, and they're telegraphing big time. We can't be stupid like George Bush in 9/11, where Osama bin Laden's all over the place killing people, and Bush is just all, I just want to be president. I mean, do something? Nah, ain't doing nothing. No, I'm just hanging out, just being on my ranch down in Texas, just, being president. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm my daddy's kid. Yeah. Then 9/11 happens, and he's like, oh, what? What? Hey, today, what? I mean, the stupidity couldn't be more. You know, so we can't be that way either. You know, if you're a serious Christian and you're willing to fight for God's ways, and I mean, you know what's coming. It's prophecy. So if you're willing to freaking do it, then you are almost already, or pretty much be ready already, because this can come on anybody's doorstep at any time. You know, this guy running the car, or the Home Depot truck and running people over. You know, I guess this guy went on a few dry runs just, to get himself psyched out, and what do the freaking Democrats do? I mean, these are Satan's people. I heard yesterday, what's his name? Don't even remember their names, man. It's almost like they're, their names are in hell, and it's like no reason to remember them. But the mayor of New York, he comes out immediately saying, look at what all these guns are out there. Look at all these guns. This is just so bad. As soon as we decide to get smart, I mean, total Satanist. Total Satanist. 8 people just barely freaking died. And what is, de Blasio, that's his name. What are they doing? Him and his, other official people there. They're sitting there trying to blame Trump and talk about guns and how we need to get guns off the street. I mean, that is just flat out saying, I am a Satanist. And I'm here to fight, to make sure Satan's ways take over and rule everything. And you have to think why these people are doing this. What really is the bottom line? What are they really doing? While Obama was in office, they passed all sorts of laws at the UN that said flat out, America is property of the UN. The Constitution, it's like gone. It doesn't even exist. Obama tried going around the Constitution, but thankfully there's enough of us still in this country that stand up for that, which is right, that they couldn't do it. I mean, he said, the Constitution's getting in my way. I can't do what I want to do. And that was on YouTube for a little while, and then they erased that. You can't find that anywhere. It's like everything. They erase everything that, gets them in trouble. But, if they ever think they got the power to bring it back out and tell everybody again, once they think they got the numbers, they've been doing this for a while. With gay marriage and whatever, they're just like, what, we're not even going to write up a law and pass gay marriage. We're just going to say it's legal. Gay marriage is still not officially legal. Because what you have to do is vote the law out that already is law that says marriage is only between a man and a woman. That Bill Clinton had that passed back when. So that's still law. The gay marriage thing is not law. The Supreme Court cannot make law or just say something is law out of the blue. They could give their opinion, which is what they did. They gave their opinion that, if we're going to stand for human rights, then we can't say this type of marriage is okay and that kind is wrong. But no way in hell is anyone in Congress going to vote out the marriage between man and a woman and vote in gay marriage, because they know they'll get voted right back out of office. So they're trying to just push that one over on us, like everything else they do, behind our back, and basically just jack us over, in the middle of the night, in secret. And this is just another part of that. This stuff's been going on and on and on, but this is a big one. Bowe Bergdahl is huge. That says to our military, you can commit treason and we'll let you get away with it. In fact, we'll reward you. I forgot about that. They were saying now that he's going to get all of his back pay and plus pensions or whatever. So he's getting like $300,000. And they said that he's probably already has movie deals in the works or something. And I'm just like, you know what? It's to that point that we just got to fight, I guess we can, I guess the way it is now with Trump being in office, we have to kind of like still let the law run its course to see if something else can be done. First off, they need to just call the whole thing a mistrial. Fire that freaking judge, because Trump is commander-in-chief, and this was a JAG judge. Trump, I guess that's the savior thing of this. I think he can do that. He could fire this judge, call the whole trial a farce, have whatever his freaking name is, have him retried, and sentence him for real, for life in prison or death penalty. That's actually what needs to happen, because Trump is commander-in-chief. He has total control over the military. It was a military court. So that's just actually what needs to happen. Everyone needs to write Trump and tell him that. Write him and tell him, fire that judge, call the whole trial a, miscarriage of justice. Because it was. Like I said, 6 people were murdered looking for him. And now he's going to, be paid off big time? No. Not even. We can only let so much of this crap happen. I mean, when Obama was in office, farms were getting closed all over the place. Obama was using the EPA. There was judges that were getting, child molestation cases where guys had been raping girls for 10 years, and the judge would let them off. Because he's like, well, this judge is, I can't remember where it was, somewhere in the Midwest, or the middle of this country. I think it was Kansas or I don't know where. But anyways, this judge is like, well, I had to let him off because there was no programs to, heal him and make him better. I'm like, so you let the guy off that has been raping a child for 10 years? You just let him off. Because, that right there, you have to look pay attention when this stuff happens. Think of why they do it and what the hell they're doing. They're doing Satan's work. They're Satanists. One thing I was saying a little bit ago, as I say in all these videos, this girl that was born into Satanism, she does a radio program, and anyways, her video on YouTube has just a picture of these Illuminatis standing around this table. It's greenish looking, and it's a radio program. So you just listen to the whole thing, and it just keeps the one picture up of this Illuminati people standing. It's a picture like it was drawn. And she just tells the whole thing, how around the world they kidnap people like freaking crazy, murder them, especially on Halloween, and they have their own holidays, where they do their own whatever. It's just the stuff that goes on there. I'll just, I'll let you find it and listen to it, then you'll see. But and she says in that we have mass people in government, in our military, in the police forces that are satanic, and they're doing Satan's work. And the only time they do that, which is right, is when they have to, because, as a cover, to make it look like they're really doing what they're supposed to do. But anytime they can do Satan's work, they do. And, you can only figure the mushroom cloud from there. So that's my reason for doing this, is just this whole thing with this judge, which is basically the reason I do all these videos, is just to get everybody on page with how this is Satanism. They're making their move. They're in every level of government, every office, everything. And you, believe me, would probably be surprised if you found out who was a part of it. I even heard yesterday and today that Jeb Bush has been out telling people, hey, don't worry, you all, Trump will be dead by December. That Jeb Bush is saying that. Now, Jeb Bush doesn't fit your typical picture, what you would figure of a Satanist. But hey, they come in all shapes and sizes. They have all sorts of different personalities. You may think they're all quiet and humble and nice old men. Everybody out there would be shocked if they came across, if they could actually see who all was Satanist, even in their town and their community, let alone worldwide. So I've heard that from 2 sources, national sources, that Jeb Bush is out there telling people, hey, look, all of you just hang out, because Trump will be dead by December. Guaranteed, he will be dead. Which I'm going to say, if Trump turns up dead, you all better move off the freaking planet. Because then everybody who's a true Christian in this country that will fight for this country won't be going to Iraq or the Middle East or Vietnam or wherever. They'll be going for you. They'll be coming for you. And they'll look for you everywhere, under every rock, everywhere. You'll be lucky if you get out of the country, And actually, to be honest, I bet you anything, mass people are looking for where they are now, where these people are now. So if it does happen, because word's out there now, it's obvious they're trying to get rid of Trump any way they can. Even if they get him to just say, I quit, they're going to come after him. We didn't vote Trump into office, we're playing bingo. We voted him in office for a hardcore reason. The same reason we voted freaking Bush into office, and everybody hoped Obama would be. But there again, that's just America's abomination when they voted him in the second time. And actually, I think he stole that election. There's a lot to say there with that, besides the fact Obama wasn't even born in this country. That's been totally proven. I don't know. I just want to make the main point of how Satanism is making its rise. And these people that do the stuff like this judge, they just prove that they are one of them. When Kathy Gifford holds up a Trump head, or Maxine Waters and this other freaking psycho lady in California that, tried staging that phone call with that, whatever wife of the guy who got killed, I can't even remember where it was, somewhere in Africa lately, and what's a joke is if you see the video, that Trump doesn't even say in there anywhere, it doesn't even come anywhere near it where Trump says something like, well, he knew what he signed up for. They made that shit up. They made that up and went global with it, lying their freaking ass off. And all I got to say is to the people that vote those kind of people into office, your day's coming. Lucifer's just waiting. You may think you're funny. You may think, oh, we're going to change the whole system and get it to where we could just sit on our ass and we're going to make the white man pay for it. And we're going to make, believe me, when that clock finally stops and you don't got a chair and the only thing there is in front of you is a hole that goes straight to hell, believe me, it's going to be too late. That's it. Bottom line, flat out. It's going to be too late. It's like the people of Sodom. They're like, well, we could do what we want. We could do whatever. I mean, God hasn't been around forever. I mean, that was clear back in Moses' time. That was hundreds, thousands of years ago. We can, gay guys are running around in gangs, raping men, and so on. All of a sudden, God says, you know what? That's it. I'm shutting it down. All of you. Men, women, children. Straight to the pit. All of you. Probably not kids. He killed them all, but he probably did the kids a favor by killing the kids, torturing them, and when he did that in Sodom and Gomorrah. But that was because they hadn't really committed any sins yet, so it was better for them, and they're probably saving them. They're probably, now that they're on the other side, they're like, thank you, because I wouldn't have made it, man. They would have made me one of them, and I freaking definitely would have ended up in hell. So thank you for torturing my mom and dad and everybody in my family and my city and whatever, because that saved me from where they're going. Which is about where it is now, this country. This country's to that point, and I'll leave it at that. So I'll be doing just keep doing these videos of how, when Satanism points its ugly head up and, Satan gets his people to try to do this move or that move, just keep them going, because we're up to like a zillion things now that have happened in our government that are just flat out satanic, And this country and these people just keep forgetting. That's the worst freaking thing. They just keep forgetting. I remember when 83, Joe Biden told the terrorists back then, the original true terrorist was a guy named Carlos the Jackal. And there was actually movies that had been done about him. He was running around killing everybody, and apparently he busted into a European meeting. There was some, big-time meeting with a bunch of European leaders. He busted in and murdered them all. Nobody knows about that. Nobody, you don't even see any history ever about that, about Carlos the Jackal. Well, we went over and set up in Beirut, and we're going to go hunt him. And this is when Reagan was in power. Joe Biden, he knew that if Reagan got Carlos the Jackal, that they would probably never have the office again, because they wouldn't get him. Just like with, Bill Clinton and Osama bin Laden. Clinton would not go after bin Laden no matter what he did. He even told, anybody in CIA and FBI, mainly CIA, if you do anything, if you kill him, I'll have you arrested for trying to start a war. I mean, freaking Osama's out there killing anybody he can. Blows up our embassies, I can't even remember the whole list. Blew up the USS Cole, which kills me, because when 9/11 happened, I can't even tell how many people I come across. They're like, I can't believe he did it. I'm like, what? What, do you think he retired? You think he got sick of it? He's like, what, this terrorist thing, it's boring. I'm going to freaking go and try to make Jell-O. I'm going to try to sell Jell-O around the world. I'm like, you effing retards. It's because of you 9/11 happened, because you insist on being a total freaking retard. You know, I knew he was going to try to bring those towers down. You know that I gotta look at my clock here. Anyways, I knew that he was going to freaking bring them down. If he couldn't do it with a bomb, like they tried in '93, you know, he would, and I just knew this, he would hijack airplanes, try to fly them into the base, because I'm thinking, you know, you have to think like them. You have to think like a terrorist. If you wanted to bring, if you were one of them, you'd be thinking, how do I bring these buildings down? What do I got to do? And if you can't do it with a bomb and a, massive bomb in a truck, a moving truck, then you got to find some other way. Well, to me, common sense, that's the only other way. I was surprised when they went high, when they hit high. I'm like, why did they do that? Why didn't they go freaking way low to try to ensure the buildings came down? But they came down anyways. But that's the problem with this country. Everybody forgets everything they can. They can't wait to forget. I mean, I probably told you a few things already. You forgot. You're like, oh yeah, that guy that shot that girl, in what's this thing blinking for? I don't know what it's doing. It's blinking something. But it's like that guy who shot that lady in freaking Minnesota. Or if you heard about that 5-year-old girl that got gang raped in Idaho. And people are like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's the same freaking thing here. Because, let me finish my deal about Biden and Beirut. We got to Beirut, and, the whole time, Carter wouldn't do nothing about Carlos the Jackal. And Carlos the Jackal was running around killing everybody. Tourists, they were hijacking airplanes, hijacking cruise ships, throwing people off in the middle of the ocean. They were hijacking, when they hijacked airplanes, they were throwing people out of the planes onto the tarmac. It's just, there was so much going on in the 70s, whatever, same deal. Just as much as Bin Laden, if not more. Anyway, so Reagan sends our military to Beirut, and Joe Biden tells the terrorists in an interview that was going to go worldwide, he says, you terrorists, all you got to do is just kill a bunch of our guys. Just do a suicide bombing and we'll leave. Then you could do whatever you want. And that's exactly what happened. They got somebody to freaking drive a freaking, loaded up truck into the barracks, blew up the barracks.